All right, this is a review of how to figure out loan payments or anything that you borrow money, you're going to end up having to figure out how much you're going to pay a month, which most people get stuck there. And I'm going to show you a couple questions you should really be asking yourself when you go out to buy a house or a car or a boat or a motorcycle. Anytime you're using credit and you want to borrow money, you want to get a big picture of what it's going to actually cost you. And so this lesson is probably one of the most practical lessons that you'll apply, particularly with respect to this personal finance unit. So let's jump into this. All right, so definition, all right, an annuity. An annuity is a set of regular equal payments over a set period of time. And simply, think about monthly payments, like when you pay rent or your mortgage, all right? That's, in most cases, is regular. There, most cases is going to be the same amount that every month, unless you're late, but it's over a set period of time. All right, so that's what an annuity is. It's just regular equal payments over a set period of time. All right, so now how do we find payments? Okay, now it sort of looks like the compound interest formula. There's a little bit more that's added. Again, I recommend that you have a scientific calculator here, or a graphing calculator that allows you to have fractional input. But let's step through the variables. PV, that's the present value, or your loan amount, all right, or your initial amount, but that's typically, we're talking about loan payments, so it's your loan amount. R is your interest rate. Again, you can use a percent if your calculator has that ability, or you can convert it to a decimal. Time is in years. N is the payment frequency. For our purposes, we're going to say 12. Now, if you're in some kind of commercial business, they might make quarterly payments, or they might make annual payments or semi-annual payments. But from a consumer perspective, typically people make payments on a monthly basis. And PMT is your payment amount, okay? All right, so this first example. All right, we want to buy a nice little car. It's $12,000, 1.99% compounded monthly, or 1.99% simple interest. Compound interest. We got a 4-year term. All right, we want to know 2 questions now. First question. So when you go out and you buy a car, don't always get caught, particularly if you're financing the car, asking yourself how much is the monthly payment. All right, that's what dealerships want you to ask, right? Because they know they want you on payments for as long as possible because of this second question. The monthly payment helps you in terms of your budget, right? But the second question benefits the lender, which is how much interest will you pay over the life of the loan. So we're going to answer 2 distinct questions. All right, so this first question, all right, present value, or the loan amount we know is $12,000. All right, the interest rate, 1.99%. Going to convert that to 0.0199. Time is 4. So it's 4 years, and we know N is 12. All right, so now let me say, before we even get into using this formula, you have to make sure you want this formula, you want to use it in one step. You want to do the numerator and then do the denominator, because what you could end up doing is end up with rounding errors where your answer could be close, but it'll be off. So again, you want to use this formula in one swell swoop, all right? So we want everything. So first thing, to find our monthly payments. Take the $12,000. Interest rate is 0.0199 divided by 12. all over 1 minus. Now, I'm going to insert another set of parentheses in a minute. 1 plus R is 0.0199 divided by 12 raised to, notice that we got a negative exponent, negative 12 times 4 years. All right. I'm going to add one set of parentheses here. So in your denominator, you can actually add another set. And even in the numerator, you can. It just depends on your calculator. If your calculator has a fraction key, you don't have to add the outer set of parentheses. But in the other case, you may want to add these extra parentheses. Okay. So take your time, and it may take you a while to practice. So if just don't watch the video, try it. If you don't get the payment, try it again until you get comfortable with typing this or substituting your values into this particular formula. All right, so $12,000, my interest rate was 0.0199 divided by 12. All right, that's my numerator. My denominator is 1 minus 1 plus 0.0199 divided by 12 raised to a power of negative 12 for 4 years. All right, and my payment in this case is $260.29. Get some room here. So $260.29 per month. All right, that's your monthly payment. All right, so first question has been answered. The second question, it says, how much interest will you pay over the life of the loan? So we're gonna write that at the top. So you know you're gonna make $260.29. You're gonna make those payments for 12 months for 4 years, right? So you take 260.29 times 12 times 4, which meant you'll pay $12,493.92. And let's call this the total amount paid. All right. But you borrowed, okay? Total amount paid is $12,493.92. All right, so interest. You take the total amount paid and you just simply subtract. So $12,493.92 minus $12,000, which was the amount that we borrowed. And so this means interest paid for the life of that loan was $493.92. All right, so just make sure you read the question. So that's how much interest was paid. All right, not that bad because the interest rate is pretty low. So for cars, not real bad depending on the interest rate and depending on the length, all right, of the loan. Now this next example, we're going to move up and we're going to do what most people want, which is a home, okay? So we're going to take this home, and we found the house. The mortgage for this particular house is $120,500. uh, you plan to pay 2% down as a down payment. So your down payment is 2%, okay? And you want to take out a loan for the rest. All right, we've got 4 questions, and probably the next 4 slides, I'll walk through each particular question individually, but we're going to review them here. All right, so the first question, what's the loan amount? Second question, what's the monthly payment if the interest rate is 5%? What's the total amount paid for the loan? And then what was the total interest paid for the loan? So 4 distinct questions. So the next 4 slides will answer each one of those questions in turn. All right, so let's go to the first question. How much is the loan amount going to be? All right, so now we're going back to that first lesson. We put 2% down, right? So that's down payment. We know how much the house costs. So we want to figure out the part equals the percent times the whole. And in this particular case, the part is our down payment. All right, so 120,500 times 2%. So we've got 2% times $120,500. So your down payment in this case is $2,410. Now that's not your loan amount, that's your down payment. All right, so this is your down payment. All right, but we want the loan amount. So what we're going to do is let's put it here, loan amount. You take your house, the value of the house, and you subtract, or the sales price of the house, let me say it the right way. You subtract your down payment, $2,410. Which means your loan amount is $118,090. All right. So now we're going to use that for the next 3 questions. Okay. All right, so we've got our loan amount, we've got our down payment, we've got our loan amount. Now we're going to go to our monthly payment. All right. It's a 30-year term of 5% interest. We disregard down payment because we already took care of that, and we know our loan amount is, or our present value is $118,090. All right, our interest rate is 5%. Or 0.05. Compounding periods is 12. And time in this case is 30. All right, so our formula, we're going to substitute. Payment equals our present value times our interest rate divided by our payment periods divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12, all raised to the negative 12 times 30 years. And again, you may need to insert parentheses, particularly in your denominator, an extra set. So then the rest of it is you let your calculators do the heavy lifting. You just substitute everything correctly. And what you do, you take your $118,090 multiply it by 5% divided by 12, all over 1 minus 1 plus 5% divided by 12, close parentheses, raised to a power of negative 12. Make sure you insert that negative 12 times 30. So the monthly payment on this particular loan is $633.93. So that's your monthly payment. All right, so now we found out, let's recap. We found out what our loan amount would be based on our down payment. Then we found out what our monthly payment would be. All right, so now we've got to answer 2 more questions. All right, and these are the most important questions. What's the total amount paid for buying this house, particularly over the 30-year payment period? And then how much interest did we pay in terms of borrowing this house? All right, so question C, total amount paid for the loan, or for the life of the loan now. So in financial terms or lending terms, they'll say if you carry this mortgage out the term, meaning you made 360 payments. So what we're going to do, we're going to take that $633.92. We're going to pay that every month, all right, for 30 years. And we're going to see how much did we actually pay in total to borrow this house. All right, and we realize that for the life of this loan, if we carry it to term, which is, we'll pay $228,211.20. Okay, that's the total amount paid for the life of the loan. All right, so in 30 years from now, that's how much we've paid for this $120,000 house. So that's total amount paid. Now that leaves the question, or the fourth question, which is, okay, I paid $228,000 and I borrowed $118,000. So question D is simple. It says, what is the total interest paid for the loan? Okay, now when you find the total amount of interest, you don't subtract the amount of the house because you made a down payment. So total interest paid for the loan. So what you've got to do is you've got to take your last 2 answers, which was $228,211.20. Now your loan amount was $118,000, $118,090. I believe, let's make sure that's the right number. Okay. So you subtract, that's all you do. So $228,211.20 minus $118,090. And you realize that you paid $110,121.20 in interest. Now, I want you to look at the numbers. You almost paid twice as much. And in the past, what some people would say is houses appreciate over time, and the value of a house could go up. But just from a pure financial standpoint, the numbers speak for themselves. You paid a whole lot of money in interest simply because you had a 30-year term. So anytime you borrow money, whether it's a car, whether it's a personal loan, whether it's it could be a payday loan. All right, you've got to make sure you understand what's happening, because to me, what's most important in this case is this number. All right, the $633 is kind of insignificant because the total amount of interest that you paid was almost as much as the value of the house, or the original amount of the loan. So you got to take those things into account. So always don't just get caught up looking at the payments. Look at the total amount of money that you're borrowing. All right, and then we're going to do, I guess, this next example. Let's see. All right, student loans. Let's look at this. All right, you borrow $30,000 to pay for school. All right, the loan must be paid back over each year for 25 years. Your account earns 5%, or let's say it's an 8% interest rate. All right, what is your anticipated monthly payment? What is the total amount paid for the loan? What is the total interest paid for the loan? All right, so it's same exact problem. It's a little different. We don't have a down payment here, so it's just an A, B, and C. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, monthly payments, total amount interest paid, total amount paid, total interest paid. All right, so let's do this first. All right, look at your variables. $30,000, 25 years. Interest rate is 8%. So what you do is we're gonna go present value. Let's always identify our variables. Is gonna help us in the long run. Interest rate, 8%. Time, 25 years, and then of course N is 12. All right, so you take your calculator, you substitute your values. 30,000, interest rate is 8% of 0.08 divided by 12, all over 1 minus 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12, raised to the negative 12 times 25. And then again, depending on what type of calculator you're using, you want an extra set of parentheses around your denominator in particular. All right, so take your calculators and just type your values in. So 30,000, 0.8% divided by 12. Denominator is 1 minus 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12. All raised to, make sure again that you keep that negative in there, negative 12 times 25. All right, and your monthly payment or anticipated monthly payment is about $231.54. Okay, so that's your anticipated payment. So next question is, what is the total amount paid? Okay, you take your $231.54. You're gonna make that payment every month for 25 years. So you multiply. Now round to the nearest hundredth, so 2 decimal places. So this $30,000 loan will end up costing you $69,462. And it just happened to come out clean. All right, so that's the total amount paid. All right, and then the third question is for this particular one is how much did you pay in interest? So let's calculate. All right, so total amount paid was $69,462. We borrowed $30,000. So we can just do this real simple. That's $39,462 in interest. All right, so now some people say, well, is education worth it? It's worth it if you get a return on your investment, which means you got to come here, you got to do the work. And for the interest rate in this guy, particular, the $30,000 might not be that bad if you get if it's for a bachelor's degree. The big issue in this particular problem was the interest rate was 8%. All right, so, and it was a 25-year term. So don't stretch it out if you don't have to. The payment was relatively low, but over time you want to particularly pay it off as fast as pay debt off as fast as you can. If this was an investment, then it wouldn't matter. But since you're paying people back, you want to pay them back as fast as you can. You want to be reasonable, because over the long term, you just end up paying too much in interest. And I hope this overview of how loan payments work was helpful.